Hello everybody, welcome back. So a quick video I suppose just on Algorand. So as with most and in fact all altcoins, from what I can see, they're all kind of going down with the market. Some have gone down horrendously and some have actually gone down quite modestly. So we've looked at some on this channel, like these small cap coins like Bepro and VRA and even some of the top cap ones like EOS and things like that that have fallen from the peak and to the crash. They dropped like 80%. Some of these small cap ones like Bepro and VRA, which again aren't coins that I'm in right now, but I do like a small cap coin when the time is right. They have been absolutely demolished and could easily go a lot more, and so could everything really. But it's interesting to note that some coins haven't fallen too bad. So from the peak, and this is the peak from over here, the highest wick was all the way back here in February, to the lowest wick so far, 63%, which is obviously a fair old drop from a top, but it's not as bad as a lot of these other coins. So a lot of people, I suppose, a bit of a misconception. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but there's a lot of people say, oh, but I want to buy the ones that have gone down the most. Well, actually, I don't see it that way. I mean, I do like to look at coins that get completely trashed and demolished because it does on some occasion offer more upside. But also, isn't it better to think about ones that haven't fallen so much because that basically means that they're stronger, right? And Algorand appears to be one of the altcoins which is stronger than most other altcoins, determined by the fact that it hasn't completely fallen into its own shadow. So what we're looking at here is just very brief, and again, there's no real signals on here to say this is a buying signal. There's two things to focus on really. First of all, we do have an incoming death cross. That's no good. We don't like that. We're also in a consolidation with the rest of the market. The market is consolidating. If Bitcoin breaks down, the market will continue to break down, as will Algorand. But if we look at this, as far as the formation is concerned, this is a descending wedge channel basically, and these often break to the up. That's statistically more likely to break to the up once this formation has been resolved, right? So the largest portion of this is here. This is the larger formation, which would suggest that when it breaks out of here is the larger move. We also have a smaller formation within the large formation, which is an upwards channel, which means that this is more likely to break to the down. Now again, just because they're more statistically likely to break out for the big formation and down for the smaller formation doesn't mean that it has to work out this way. I mean, I've not bothered drawing a top area of trend line because it's basically respecting this 200 exponential moving average, this white line here. So there's no need to really draw it in. That is more or less what's going on here. And so we've got a support here, which I expect will break to the down, and we will test the bottom side of this trend line if the market breaks down. Now, if the market doesn't break down, as if Bitcoin doesn't attempt to go towards 30,000, for instance, then this has a very strong chance of breaking out. Either way, this is one of the stronger altcoins that I have in my portfolio. I'm a massive holder of this actually. It's one of the coins that I generally have been buying more of since this parabolic high. So it's and actually it's the one that I've got working for a bot versus Bitcoin. My Bitsgap bot. It's been going for 2 months and it's still going now. They're doing quite well for itself. It's a bit of a slow burner, but I'm quite happy with it because it's still churning out profit. So all this video is to say that some altcoins, are stronger than others, and even though it's tempting to buy some coins that are, 90% down, like Bepro, for instance, or VRA, whatever they are, between 70 and 90% down already, probably even more actually for these small cap coins. It's worth looking at the ones that have held up okay during the dump. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll get 100x out of something like Algorand. I don't think this is a 100x type coin. There's a lot of them, and it's already a relatively top cap coin. The market cap's pretty big. There's only so far it can really go. But when we're thinking about profit, sometimes trying to make 100x it's not the best way to try and think about things. Yeah? Greed will often come back to bite you in the bum, and sometimes just thinking level-headedly about how something performs is better. I don't have a top target for this. I really don't. I mean, essentially, once it breaks out from its previous high over here, then I would expect it to move on towards its all-time high, which is where it started over here, and then a blue sky breakout. So we may end up with a $10 Algorand at some point. But for the moment, we're more or less what we're doing is we're trying to admire the fact that we've got a fix on something here, and when this situation gets resolved, it will break out. Now, it's always been a bit of I wouldn't call it a massive underperformer, but it's been slow and steady in its recovery, and it's unfortunate the way that it worked recently with the market breaking down in May, because it was recovering quite well and quite slowly, but quite well. But now, obviously, we are at the mercy of the rest of the market. But if the market continues to go sideways, and even if it were to go sideways and up, it was going to work out quite well for Algorand. So this is how I see it. Resistance, support, resistance, support. If this breaks down, we'll probably come back down to test this resistance, and it'll be an epic opportunity to pick some more up. Not because this is going to be the bottom. Obviously, this channel can play out for a long time, but when it resolves, it will end up in most likely it will end up in quite an aggressive uptrend, and I believe that the uptrend, the next uptrend across the board for altcoins is going to be towards the end of this year, around October, November. We should start to see alt seasons, and if this is going to be the accumulation period between, we'll call it 50 cents and well, 50 cents and maybe even $2, then yeah, I really don't see a problem with it reaching its all-time high, then going to a blue sky breakout before the end of this year. Again, this isn't a 100x type coin, but it is definitely stronger than the majority of altcoins that we've looked at. There is a lot of altcoins that do look like they have potentially reached their bottoms. You know, there's a lot of this double bottom style vibe going on. We've also got that here with Algorand, kind of marks previous areas of support and resistance as well. A lot of altcoins have this signature on them already. It can be, I suppose, a bit of an illusion to suggest that that's where that is the bottom, even though that we do have a relatively good fix on a lot of altcoins. I'd like to think that that is the bottom, and we were looking on the live stream last night. There's so many altcoins that actually have this kind of signature. Double bottom corresponds to previous peaks. Very common in most of the things that we looked at, but it doesn't mean that it can't break down from there. I'm not holding on, to that idea as the be all and end all. It's interesting to note that though that altcoins could have reached their bottom, but what I was saying yesterday is that just because they've reached the bottom doesn't mean that they will go first. I think that Bitcoin, if any coin is going to move up first, it will be Bitcoin, and then these will follow afterwards. But even so, Algorand looks pretty strong. We've got a fix on it now as far as a formation is concerned. There could potentially be a double bottom here. If not, we do have a descending support as well, with a formation that often ends up with a bullish breakout. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. There's not a great deal more to say on it, but thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.